One of the most influential presidents in American history, Abraham Lincoln, left a lasting legacy in the hearts of the American people. From establishing Thanksgiving as a national holiday to being the only U.S. president to hold a patent, Lincoln's story is a fascinating one. Let's take a closer look at the life of this remarkable man. Here are 10 interesting facts about Lincoln. Lincoln lost 5 separate elections before he was elected as the 16th President of the United States, which included races for the Illinois General Assembly, a run for the U.S. House of Representatives, and 2 unsuccessful bids for the U.S. Senate. Despite these setbacks, he never lost sight of his political goals or his beliefs, and he continued to stay active in politics. Lincoln established the United States Secret Service. Although the organization was only formally established 3 months after Lincoln's death, it was actually founded on the day President Lincoln died. The legislation that created the Secret Service was supposedly on his desk that day. But even if the Secret Service had actually been functioning at the time the assassination took place, it wouldn't have been able to help Lincoln himself, since its responsibility at the time was only suppressing counterfeiting. Abraham Lincoln was once a national wrestling champion. You may be surprised to learn that Lincoln was once a national wrestling champion. According to historians, he had only 1 confirmed loss in over 300 fights, making him the roughest and toughest of all the wrestling presidents. Lincoln ranks as the 21st U.S. president by time in office. Although Lincoln was elected twice, he only served 1 full term, plus 1 month and 11 days of his second term before he was assassinated in 1865. He ranks as the 21st U.S. president by time in office. For comparison, to date, Franklin D. Roosevelt has spent the most time in the office, 3 full terms, plus 83 days of his 4th term. Abraham Lincoln is the only U.S. president to ever hold a patent. He was awarded patent number 6469 for a device to lift boats over shoals and obstructions in a river. On May 22, 1849, while he was a practicing lawyer and not yet president, Lincoln was a self-taught inventor who was fascinated by mechanical devices and had a lifelong interest in finding ways to improve transportation on America's rivers. Lincoln hated his nickname Abe. We frequently use the name Abe Lincoln when referring to the 16th President of the United States of America. But the man himself actually hated this nickname. He strongly preferred his last name, so most people called him Lincoln, Mr. Lincoln, or Mr. President after he had been elected. Even his own wife, Mary, was believed to have addressed him as Mr. Lincoln. Lincoln was photographed at his inauguration with John Wilkes Booth. This iconic photograph captures the moment Abraham Lincoln was inaugurated as President of the United States. But what's even more interesting is that John Wilkes Booth, Lincoln's assassin, can be seen standing close to him in the photograph. Lincoln's wife came from a slave-owning family. Mary Todd Lincoln, despite her background, she opposed slavery and worked to free her family's slaves and improve the living conditions of African Americans in Illinois. She was a supportive and loving wife to Abraham Lincoln and played an important role in his presidency as the First Lady of the United States. Lincoln's dog Fido was also assassinated. The great president was very fond of animals and was completely devoted to his dog Fido. Fido was entrusted to another family after Lincoln moved to Washington, D.C., but attended Lincoln's funeral in April 1865. Fido was sadly later violently killed. The dog was stabbed by a drunk man on the street within a year of his previous master's death. Abraham Lincoln established Thanksgiving as a national holiday. On the 4th Thursday of November, millions of Americans gather to celebrate Thanksgiving. But do you know who established this holiday as a national day of thanks? None other than President Abraham Lincoln. He declared that the 4th Thursday of November would be set aside as a day to give thanks for the nation's blessings. Abraham Lincoln's story is one of perseverance, strength, and dedication to his beliefs. He remains an iconic figure in American history, and his legacy continues to inspire generations to come. Thank you for watching The Curious Collective.